moms, and welcome to What About That Woman. My name is Danielle Avery. I am the founder of What About That Woman, and let's get into the video today, right? So, if it ain't about the kids, then what are we talking about, right? So this video is just for you guys who are actually done in your relationship with your child's father. Like, you don't want him back. You want to move on for the betterment of the kids. You're in a space where, you understand that you guys don't work well together. So this is for you. I'll make another video for people who still want to be involved with their child's father, but let's get into it. So tip number 1, keep your calls and your text messages strictly about the kids. And I know breaking up in a fresh breakup, sometimes you have some unanswered questions where you want to get some closure, but sometimes closure is not a good thing. Sometimes closure can lead to you second guessing who you are, because let's be real. Some people might lie about why you guys broke up because they want to hide whatever they're doing on the side. So maybe they cheated, but you just really don't know. You don't have concrete proof. Or maybe you do have proof and you're trying to figure out, well, why me? And sometimes they don't know why. Or sometimes it's just they were selfish. So you don't need closure. When you come to the place where you guys are no longer together, keep the calls and texts strictly about the kids. So something that I like to go off of is now when me and my child's father weren't in the best place after our breakup, I would, call and text when it was an emergency. Like if I was going to the emergency room with our daughter, she did have a few times in the night when she woke up and she had like maybe strep throat or an ear infection. So I would have to take her to the emergency room. Those are the times that I will call and text him. If, daycare needs to be paid, if and you need to send a reminder, that's another way. But stuff like that, stuff like, oh, she's not doing well in school, or he's not doing well with his sports. Like, those are the things that you need to communicate with the other parent, because maybe they can assist and do their part, right? So I shouldn't be texting my ex or my child's father. I try not to say my ex because it's not mine anymore. Like, I try not to make it personal, but I try not to text or call my child's father unless it is strictly about the kid. This also gives boundaries. It helps him to know that when he sees your number, it's not going to be any drama that's coming with it. When he sees your number, it's only about the kid, about something that is necessary for the kid. Now, as our relationship has progressed and gotten a little better, I like to send maybe pictures of what she's doing that day. I like to send reports from school, like say for instance, or even if now we're virtual, right? So she's home with me. So even if if I notice that she's having issues with math, I like to bring it up to him and say, hey, she's a little frustrated with math. This is what they're learning. If you can please, just talk to her about it when you see her, so that she can, maybe you have a different way of teaching her math that she'll get, so it'll be easier for her. But that's why you include the other parent. It's just to include them in the day-to-day aspects of your child's life, because they have a right to know what's going on in your child's life as well as you do, being the primary parent. Now, sometimes the relationship is not there. So, like I said before, if it's not there and you could keep it to a bare minimum, that's fine. But when it comes to anything that is negatively impacting their spiritual, mental health, their physical health, or like school or anything, or if you guys don't have a child support order, if you need extra money for something that's going on, that's one way to reach out one reason to reach out to your child's father, just to open the lines of communication about the child only. Tip number 2, have boundaries. Now, I talked about boundaries a little bit in tip 1, but have boundaries. Don't go popping up at your child's father's house. Don't disrespect his new relationships. There is no reason that you should be even referring to the new relationship. Now, as long as your child is safe, there's no reason for you to refer to his relationship, right? Now, if you have some concerns about stuff that your child is actually saying, and don't be making stuff up, because we don't want to be crazy here, right? So if your child is coming home telling you something that his girlfriend or I don't know, maybe he has a boyfriend now, but if your child is coming home telling you something that this person is being mean to them, making faces at them and stuff like that, yes, some things you have to discern, saying like, well, is my child making this up because maybe they want us back together or they don't like this person? So you just have to really ask those questions. You ask probing questions to get them to talk, but don't put stuff in their mouth. Like, so if they're saying that, their dad or something washed them the wrong way or whatever, start asking them to explain what happened. Tell them to show you what they did, instead of you saying, well, did he touch you down there, or did he do this? Like, you're putting stuff in that child's mouth, and because they're a child, they don't know that they are supposed to, tell the truth or tell the truth. They're not supposed to just I feel like when we give leading questions, it's like we're saying that, yeah, that's what they did. What the response we'll get is, yeah, that's what they did. Or we might not always get the truth when we start to lead like that. So just ask them certain questions to get them to open up. And then if it's something that you feel like you need to reach out with, then, say, hey, text them, hey, can you call me real quick? I got something to talk about. I was talking with our child and this is what happened. And then talk about it on the phone, because through text, sometimes the message can get misconstrued and you don't want to seem like you are always on the defense. But respect boundaries. Respect his boundaries, and also start teaching him how to respect your boundaries. So I like to use a good rule of thumb. I don't text my child's father after 8 o'clock. That respects him and his relationship with his partner. And that also respects me and my relationship with my husband. So anything that I need to say about my daughter, I will say before 8 o'clock. And sometimes even, if it's 8:30, it has to be something really serious for me to say it at 8:30. But if I look at the clock and I see that it's past my normal cutoff, I'm like, this can wait till tomorrow. So I'll text them in the morning if it's still on my mind. If it's that important, I can text them tomorrow, right? Now, if this was an emergency, like I had to wake up in the middle of the night and go take her to the hospital or whatever, I'm sending a text message. We live in 2 different states, so, I don't expect him to come to the emergency room. But, if he does, here's the information. We are in this room and here are some updates. Now, if she's fine, it's just an ear infection or whatever, I'll give him the updates in the morning. But respect boundaries, because you want somebody to respect you. So you give respect, you get respect. And if I'm constantly disrespecting him, then his partner or whoever has the right to say, hey, you need to chill out, right? And also, don't go popping up at his house. Like, we done with that relationship, right? So it's no reason for us to go pop up and just to see who he got over there. Sometimes we just have to trust that they are having good people around your kids, right? And if they are not, that's another area that you need to handle. I didn't have that situation, so I don't really know how I would handle it if the person around my child when they were in the care of their father was negative. I haven't had that situation, so I really don't know how I would handle it, but I know I would probably reach out to the father and be like, well, hey, but just know that you can't control who he has around your child. Even if he says, oh yeah, I ain't gonna have him around, you don't know what's going on in his house. I mean, your kid might tell you, but you might never know, because he might, like, I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation, right? But he might try to scare them, like, hey, don't tell your mom that I was around so and so. Don't tell your mom that I had Joe or so and so around. So, or Cynthia, whoever, I don't know. But respect boundaries. Keep them for yourself as well, because if you're in a relationship, you don't want that relationship to be hindered because your child's father is being crazy. If you know that he's doing stuff that he's not supposed to be doing, of course, alert your partner. But when you are not in a relationship, sometimes if you left on toxic ways, because a lot of people don't break up just saying, well, I think that we're not working out, right? A lot of people break up like in a toxic way. Like, I don't want you no more, or I stopped talking to you, or whatever way is not communicating properly. That's on a bad way, right? So if you've left off in a relationship like that, sometimes we, like I said before, we want that closure. We want to be able to see, well, if he ain't with me, then who he with? But it's not about us anymore. It's about making sure we have healthy relationships, healthy boundaries with our child's father, and they have it with us. Now, one thing I will say is, as far as like child support, if your child's father is holding that money over your head, when you know that you need this money for your child only, you're not asking him to break his neck or nothing, but you need this for your child, you have a right to take him to court for child support. And I want to stress that fact, because a lot of times we're trying to get this money from them because the child needs the stuff, and we can't always afford everything on our own. If your child's father is holding this over his head, don't argue with him. Don't fuss with him. Go straight to the courts and get it in writing, because if you don't listen to me, you're going to listen to the person who's taking it out your check. Now it's going to be mandatory. And a lot of times when we break up and we get into these other relationships, sometimes the child's father doesn't want to pay child support, or doesn't want to play his part in the child's life financially. And sometimes your new partner will say, well, you should take them to court for child support. It's not to say that you want his money. It's not to say that his money is supporting your house. It's not anything negative. And that's something that you have to figure out, right? But if your new partner is trying to set boundaries for your relationship, he sees that the person that you're with is not paying his part, he has every right to suggest, hey, I think you should take him for child support because he's abusing you by not trying to pay for his part of the child, right? You could be asking for a new coat for your child. You could be asking for new shoes for your child. The shoes are old or falling apart. And if the father doesn't want to give you money and y'all don't have a court order, if you don't have it and you honestly don't have it, then you have to take him to court. It's not your responsibility to pay 100% for your kid. 50-50 now, 50-50. Number 3, I've already talked about it, honestly, but stay out of the new relationship. If your child's father is in a new relationship, that's not your relationship. That's not even something that you have to worry about. Only thing that I was concerned about is how that person treated my daughter. And that's it. That's all that matters, because I'm supposed to protect her. So if my child's father is in a relationship that's toxic, it's up to me to talk to my daughter about what's going on. It's up to me to console her when she comes home. If my child's father is with somebody that loves my daughter and is showing that they love her by playing with her, interacting with her, taking the time out to, you know, really help us as a co-parenting situation to train her up, that's all I care about. That's right. But we're talking about a positive relationship that they're having. Stay out of it. It's not your business what's going on in their household. It's not your business. Unless it affects the kid, it's not your business. Because you have to, like I said, set boundaries. And you have to give that space to that relationship. If you think that their relationship is not going to last, that's your problem. You ain't supposed to go to him telling him. You ain't supposed to go to his other baby moms, if he has any, and tell them that you don't think their relationship is going to last. This is not your relationship anymore. Your concern for whoever he is no longer your concern. Only thing that you're supposed to be worried about is the safety and the well-being of your child. When your child, he or she, is with their father, you just have to pray and trust God. Like, I know things happen in the world. Don't get me wrong. I'm not oblivious to that. I know sometimes that, you know, parents, they try to tell social services, you know, that their child was in danger. I know things happen, but this is in a situation where nothing is happening. Everything is going good. They're just going through a relationship. So you have to pray and ask God to protect your kids. You have to also pray and ask God to make sure that, you know, whoever the child's father is involved with, whether that be a platonic relationship, whether that be a new marriage or whatever, whoever he's around in front of your child, that relationship is a good and positive one. You have to trust God that he's going to protect your child, that he's going to do what his job is, right? To protect his children. But we can't get so focused on what our child's father is doing in their other relationship, because it's no longer our relationship. So in closing, sometimes when we haven't gotten over a relationship, all these 3 tips would be hard. I'm not even gonna lie. If it's a relationship that you still want, or a relationship that you still need closure from, or you still feel hurt from, it's going to be hard at first. It is. But you have to do these 3 things to be able to move on for yourself and for the health of your child. It's all about your child right now. It's all about being good for your child, being a good role model, being healthy within yourself for your child. Because if you're not healthy internally or mentally, spiritually, whatever, if you are not there, then your child is going to feel that. And they might even pick up some tendencies and start not liking their dad because you don't like them. So we have to, you know, always keep it about the kid. It's nothing about, and there's children who grow up in healthy co-parenting relationships that don't turn out to be bad adults, that don't turn out to need to heal from their childhood, that is like, well, I'm glad my dad and my mom aren't together anyway, because they get to form their own opinions as they grow older. They know who's for them. They know who's against them. So it's not my job to tell my child the negative sides of their father, right? It's not my child's father's responsibility to tell them anything negative about me, because it only hurts the child. Because you know, the child maybe likes one parent more than the other based off their own opinion. Maybe they're more closer to the mother because they're nurturing. Maybe they're more closer to the father because he's more fun. Whatever the case may be, you don't want to tarnish the child's ideas of their parent, because it hurts the child. It doesn't hurt you, because you're getting the gratification out of it by trying to turn them against them, because now the child is all on you, right? The child don't want to go with their dad. They want to be with you the whole time. So we have to make sure that we are being good role models for our kids. And even if you have a village, a support system, lean on them. You're like, hey, what am I supposed to do in this time? What am I supposed to do when my child's father doesn't respond to my text, or he's always just talking to me and he never says hi in a text? What am I supposed to do? And talk to people that know how to effectively communicate. Don't talk to somebody just to co-sign any ratchetness, because like I have a ratchet side and I have a business side and more put together side. But if I want to learn how to communicate, I have those friends, I have those family members that I can say, hey, how should I word this? I'm going through this right now. How should I word it? I don't want them to be on the defense. And they will say, well, I get what you're saying, but either no, let that go, that's none of your business, or just monitor it. And if they come home like that another time, then you can say something. So I have those people that I can go to. And if you don't have them, build your village up. You know, it's not always good to have the same type of people around you all the time, because you're not really learning anything. And when you learn to effectively communicate, and I wasn't always like this, I was like, you know, if my daughter came home and wanted to say something to me, what's up? What's going on? But, you know, for our own mental health, we shouldn't be popping off at the first thing that happens. We shouldn't be taking everything our kids say as 100% truth. We have to learn how to discern different things as a parent that goes on. Like, is it really worth me looking into? So if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel. I would love to have you in my community. If you would like to join our Facebook group, please see the link in the caption comment section below. And join our Facebook group. If you are a single mom, single female caregiver, if you are in your co-parenting stage, maybe you're remarried but you still have a blended family, join What About That Woman on Facebook. It's a closed Facebook group. All are welcome. It don't matter if you're white, black, Spanish, whatever, you are welcome. The community has about 200 women, and we share resources, we share parenting tips, and just build a community. Before the Rona, we were having events, so come on over, come on, get your village enlarged. And if you want to comment below on YouTube. So I'll see you on the next video. Bye.